Stand Dashi match will happen later on, so don't worry, you didn't miss anything. We're going to continue it later on when either the EU servers sort out or the guys get access to NA accounts, so they can just carry on. So a little bit unfortunate, but thanks for sticking around, and we'll carry on with this match. So StrifeCro versus Hoej, two top-end players, and I've been made aware that StrifeCro's mage deck specifically is quite interesting, Savids.
Yeah, just wait for it. There's quite a lot of cool stuff in there. A lot of new cards. Brand Bronzebeard, playing also Jewel Scarab, playing the Ethereal Conjurers, and Double Flame Strike. I believe there was a Reno in there as well, so
Why not?
Pretty awesome stuff. It looked really slow, but it seems to be it's kind of like a toolbox type of solution, which StrifeCro really loves to play.
Yeah, it's something I've quite enjoyed with the expansion. I think this is one of the most impactful expansions onto the meta, and in terms of sort of sheer variety of decks, actually. And we're only a couple of weeks in as well, so to see a player at this level bring a bit of a crazy one is always going to be interesting.
Yeah, and going up against Hoej here, Hoej has been so dominant lately. It's going to be a tough task for StrifeCro, but if there's somebody who can do it, maybe it will be him.
Yeah, Hoej's literally just come off the back of a really strong DreamHack performance, as we discussed earlier. So it's going to be Hoej's Druid, Paladin, and Warlock versus StrifeCro's Crazy Mage, Paladin, and Warlock himself. So really, I just hope he opens Mage. I just want to cast this game straight away.
Yeah, Hoej is not known for bringing a weird or some kind of spectacular new deck lists, but he's really known for kind of perfecting his play on the decks that he chooses, and he keeps playing the same decks quite often and sticking to his guns. But it's really hard to still counter, even if you know what he's playing. It's really hard to counter the type of decks that he brings.
Yeah, a few of the we're having a bit of a discussion after DreamHack where everyone's saying that Hoej is one of these players who's actually really far ahead in terms of Hearthstone, in terms of learning the game, and sort of takes it to a next level in terms of playing his opponent versus just playing the game perfectly himself. So, doing different plays and making his opponent react to him specifically. And just we can see on camera, we've got two interesting things. One, StrifeCro already repping Christmas. We are in December with a Christmas jumper, and Hoej with his pet bird called Pidgey, if anyone doesn't know. His bird does sit and play Hearthstone with him quite often, and almost entered some tournaments with him as well. So hopefully we'll see that in the future.
Looking at these classes, we see that both StrifeCro and Hoej are playing Paladin and Warlock, but the decklists are different. StrifeCro is playing a more mid-range type of Paladin with double Quartermaster, Justicar's True Heart, that type of thing, while Hoej is playing the Secret Paladin. And on the Warlocks, StrifeCro is playing a Demon Handlock, a slow late game, really powerful deck, while Hoej is bringing a Zoo Warlock, an aggressive type of Warlock. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, nice to see that although classes are the same across some of them, the actual, again, more variation in decks, and the more types of decks there are, the more we can see these players really push on their own style. So it's going to be the Handlock versus the Paladin, and Hoej starting with Paladin. If anyone's watched him, you can't say it's too surprising. He really does like this deck, and to be fair, when a deck performs this well for him, you can't really argue.
Yeah, why would it waste up when you got 24-1 with the deck? I mean, that's Thijs managed to stop Hoej on his tracks, but it's a difficult task. StrifeCro is going to try to do the same.
Yeah, how do you feel it matches up versus Handlock? Because we've not really seen Handlock as in the more older style be played too much recently, so it's not a matchup that's as fresh as some of the others.
Well, Hellfire is very powerful, for example, and sometimes if there's equalities, the big threats and big minions, even Molten Giants, are not that big of an issue for the Paladin player. But I don't know if Hoej is playing equalities. If he is, there's probably just one. So unless Hoej gets a good early board that StrifeCro can't clear, I think StrifeCro might be able to edge it out in the late game. But we'll see.
Yeah, and I think with the Paladin as well, he really needs the Owl to punch through a taunt later on. Because he needs to build up and prep the damage to be able to burst the Warlock at the last minute, and not obviously run into the dreaded double Molten Giant taunt fiasco. He does start fairly strong though with a mini bot, and he has Muster, Blessing of Kings, Shredder. He's got some nice early stuff, whereas on the flip side, StrifeCro's hand looks pretty okay. The double Dart Bomb's always nice, an Owl of his own, and the Twilight for turn 4.
Yeah, not bad at all, but StrifeCro is still lacking that AoE in form of either Hellfire or Shadow Flame. Hellfire usually is the better one against the Paladin, since it doesn't require to have a minion on the board. But other than that, the hand is not bad, and if he picks up maybe Void Caller, that Mal'Ganis might come out sooner than later.
Yeah, because a lot of these Paladin lists don't run BGH, and as you mentioned previously, it's not common to see inequality in Secret Paladin. It's not common at all. So, Hoy's just gonna go, okay, Lesson of Kings on the minibot. Is he gonna trade? Oh, he does. Okay. So
Looks like it.
Maybe going against the presumption everyone has of Hoy of just being a hyper aggro player. He does make the trade, but this is definitely good because at this moment he needs to avoid taunts.
Wow, there's the Void Caller for StrifeCro now. That's a huge pickup considering the Mal'Ganis that he already has.
Yeah, that is pretty huge. And there's currently no good way to deal with Mal'Ganis in Hoy's hands. So that's definitely been a pretty problem. To try and just throw your board away into Mal'Ganis is sort of a half AoE in itself for StrifeCro, so that's not too bad. It's whether he's confident on dropping the Void Collar now and taking another potentially 8 damage, 9 damage on the board to push him down even further.
Yeah, I think the Void Collar is the most powerful play, but if Hoy had an Owl in his hand, StrifeCro could potentially fall even further behind on the board. But as it is, there's no Owl, and I think if StrifeCro chooses to go with the Void Collar, he's going to be rewarded.
Yeah, I mean, the other play really is just double Dart Bomb onto the 6/6, but it doesn't really do too much in terms of actually getting bored yourself. So I agree, I do like the Void Collar here, and we'll see how Hoy actually deals with this. He could just Noble Sacrifice. He with everything in hand, he has 1 spare mana anyway. So this would be good to sort of guarantee the Void Collar not dying and potentially not proccing a demon. He can build up his own board and maybe deal with whatever comes out a little bit later.
Yeah, not too bad. If leaving up the Void Collar, well, while it can get Shadow Flamed, it's still, you know that there's probably something waiting behind it from the Death Rattle, so trying to kill both the Void Collar and the minion coming out of it is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, definitely not feasible. And the good thing is, if it gets Shadow Flamed, then it would need, say, a Power Overwhelming or another something else to actually deal with the 6/6. And also, if it gets Shadow Flame, then that's pretty much all of StrifeCro's turn. So again, Hoy could then push forward and create more aggression on the board.
Yep, and Hoy does go with the Shredder and the Noble Sacrifice to slow down the Void Caller. The Noble Sacrifice, a little bit too small, so StrifeCro unable to get the Mal'Ganis on the board just yet.
Yeah, and he just draws into a Mountain Giant that is just a little bit too slow now, because he's definitely going to be fearing lethal next turn, actually, unless he can... I imagine we're going to see the Belcher this turn, because he definitely needs to be defensive.
He could also go with something like an Owl on the 6/6 and maybe Dark Bomb on the Shredder. He also has the Mortal Coil, so mana-wise that would kind of be smooth, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely another good play. Maybe the Belcher's too passive, as in it doesn't actually do enough to the board this turn. We also see the Dark Bomb probably hopes for a Doomsayer, but a 1/1 isn't too terrible either for StrifeCro.
Yeah, definitely great results for StrifeCro. It's not quite an Explosive Sheep, which would have been even better.
That would have been
Doomsayer.
okay as well. Yeah, the Explosive Sheep would have been okay. Casually proc your Mal'Ganis as well. But
yeah, but definitely happy to see that.
Oh, a second Void Caller as well. At least he can drop that down, because even if it doesn't draw Mal'Ganis, Void Caller into Void Caller is pretty nice.
It sure is.
Okay.
And StrifeCro can also, if that Void Caller on the board survives for now, next turn he can first play the second Void Caller out of his hand to make sure to get that Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, and with a Demon already on board, the buff's going to be instant. This is the problem that the Secret Paladin has in this matchup now. He's got the tough decision of, if he pushes damage, his opponent could have double Mortal and Healbot, or double Mortal and Taunt along those lines. But if he doesn't push for damage, then he's going to just fall behind anyway, because all of the Warlock's turns going forward are more than likely going to be a lot bigger and more impactful than his.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he has to just push for it here and hope for the best. Hope that there's not too many Moltens. Hope that StrifeCro doesn't have the cards that he needs right now. It seems like the only line that that could result in a win for him to just go for it. Yeah,
exactly. Without Mysterious Challenger in hand, or even Boom or Tyrion, you've got no late game at this moment for Hoy, so he has to try and deal with it. And okay, StrifeCro got the good end of the stick there, or the better end of the stick, should I say, and got the Mal'Ganis drop on the board on his turn. So now he can pretty much do what he wants. Hellfire looks okay, actually.
Yeah, it should give him a full clear here. The Mal'Ganis is going to be a little bit weak, but emptying Hoej's entire board. How do you say no to that? Just going for the Hellfire.
And he still has Dark Bomb, so he can probably kill what comes out. Oh,
yep, most of the things.
It will proc a secret as a little added bonus for the scientist, but there is a reason no one plays that card in this secret deck specifically, as he wants all of the secrets to work together in unison. And I guess you Dark Bomb that, right? Make it as hard as possible for Mal'Ganis to die.
I mean, with the 2 remaining mana, I think you do, but I wouldn't blame him for just life tapping here either.
Yeah, maybe life tap into Healbot or something he's looking for. Oh,
yeah,
or an Argus is pretty good as well.
There's usually no abusive Surgeons in a Paladin deck like this, so you're not too worried. Sometimes True Silver Champion would kill that, but True Silver would result in a lot of damage to the Paladin space.
Yeah, and this is really awkward. Drawing into the Redemption and definitely not going to do too much. Not what he wanted to see. As the Noble Sacrifice is going to delay a turn just though, and now we can see that with trading into Mal'Ganis, if Mal'Ganis chooses to attack, it will die. It's going to be interesting whether StrifeCro actually chooses to attack with it, or whether he tries to drop a taunt in the way.
He might just go for the taunt, but he knows that there might be a Repentance, so if he just went for a Belcher, the Belcher could get knocked down to 1 HP immediately, which could maybe cause some issues.
Yeah, the only positive, or the main positive for StrifeCro is the Paladin's got no cards, and Paladin doesn't have much burst anyway, so he can actually be a little bit, with the Mal'Ganis down as well, a little bit more crazy with his health. You know, maybe tap Belcher's okay, because you're pretty certain you're not going to die.
It's true, so even if there wasn't a Repentance, those 2 minions on the board would still have to both attack into the Belcher and the Slime in order to kill it, which means that Mal'Ganis should survive.
Yeah.
Now he sees, okay, no Repentance, and with these last 2 remaining mana, he could either Dark Bomb or Life Tap. But the Dark Bomb, what do you even Dark Bomb? You Dark Bomb one or a Divine Shield.
Oh, and he has Molten. That's Molten double Argus. Yeah, pretty okay. And another relatively dead draw from Hoej. I don't know how Hoej can come back here. Even if he drew, say, Mysterious Challenger now, he's played so many secrets that it just doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
it would almost just be a 6/6 for 6.
Looking at the hands, looks like the Mal'Ganis in combination with the Dark Bomb should be able to end the game here, since Belcher can trigger the Noble Sacrifice. No way for Hoej right now to remove that Belcher or the Mal'Ganis.
And 8 mana Hero Power Creeper is definitely not the turn you want for your Hoej. And not against this board anyway. He does take some damage, so the Belcher will die from the attack into the Noble Sacrifice, but we can see that, especially with Hellfire, there's more than enough damage to finish this game. And it went pretty much as this matchup normally goes. The Paladin either runs away with the game early, or the Warlock just stabilizes due to not being able to finish.
Yep, that Mal'Ganis is absolutely amazing. Getting it for free from the Void Caller. So brutal. 9/7 makes your hero immune.
Yeah, especially when there was another demon in his hand as well. It wasn't like it was guaranteed Mal'Ganis, it was 50-50 because there was another Void Caller. So pretty good win for StrifeCro there. Takes 1-0 over Hoej, loses his Warlock, and he has Paladin and Mage up against the whole of Hoej's lineup. And Hoej can pick any class he wants. He's not stuck into his Paladin if he does want to.
The format is Conquest, so StrifeCro got a win with this Warlock, and now looking for a win with his Mage and Paladin. The Mage, he was struggling a little bit with the Mage yesterday, but let's see if he can do better today.
Yeah.
And come on, play the Mage. I want to see the Mage. Oh.
Pastor's disappointed. Okay, so it's going to be a Paladin mirror, and you said StrifeCro's Paladin is more mid-range, correct?
Yes, he was playing double Quartermaster, Justicar True Heart, and what other notable cards? They were like he was playing the new
Keeper of Alderman?
Yes, the Dude Master. Yes.
As I thought you were going to say, yeah, he's not playing Secrets, but he's playing the new Secret card from the Paladins, the Sacred Trials. It's like, what? StrifeCro is crazy.
Keeper of Alderman, that's the one.
Yeah. So this matchup's actually, I think, pretty good for the mid-range, because the Avenge procs can be heavily negated by Ardor Peacekeepers, or even the Keeper of Alderman, if, depending on how high the attack goes itself, so...
Yep. And these starting hands. Hey, look at a Shielded Minipot and Master of Battle. That's pretty good. StrifeCro with a Shielded Minipot, that's certainly a keep. You can consider keeping a True Silver, but I would expect him to throw it away and try to find a Zombie Chow or his own master.
Oh, he gets a True Silver back, and Dr. Boom, probably not what he, well, definitely not what he was mulliganing for.
No, it's a little bit early for that Dr. Boom. Oh, Hoej picking up a Secret Keeper here.
Yeah, and the Peacekeeper's okay from StrifeCro, though. It's a good body versus most of the early drops from the Secret Paladin, and he can just take down the attack of the Secret Keeper if it comes to it. But we can see Hoej's got no secrets in hand yet, anyway.
Nope, not yet. Shielded Minibot Haunted Creeper. I think Shielded Minibot looks a little bit better.
Yeah, do you? It's a tough one, actually. Like, do you bother proccing the shield from the 1/2, or do you just go face and let StrifeCro decide how he uses his minibot?
Well, I'm pretty sure that StrifeCro is going to attack into a Secret Keeper anyway, so like if you Hoej, you're expecting Shielded Minibot to attack into that, so it's probably better to just play the Shielded Minibot and go face. Because if there was a Master of a Battle and you chose to attack into the Shielded Minibot right now, StrifeCro would have the option to use his Master of Battle weapon and then trade off to clear Hoej's board fully.
Yeah, and we do see Hoej does go face. Now StrifeCro has it's not too much of a tough choice, actually. I imagine we're just going to see the second minibot come down, as the Peacekeeper doesn't really do too much.
Yeah, I mean, the Peacekeeper is kind of valuable to save for later on, for maybe a Mysterious Challenger or a Dr. Boom, even Novelty Reinforcing too.
All that's a card that it works on, yeah.
Kind of. It doesn't help with Ashbringer, but it does negate quite a bit of damage.
Oh, he needs to Aldo Peacekeeper face when he's good with the Ashbringer. Reduce that weapon to a Light's Justice.
I wish it worked like that.
So Hoej's just deciding whether he wants to muster. As you said, he can proc the shield on the second minibot with the weapon, but also it's not quite as strong when there's only one minibot on board. In this case, there's actually two, so he can kill one of the minibots off anyway. I think muster's still the right play, though, right?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, it's a little bit risky because you know that your opponent might be holding a Consecration, which would result in a full clear, but you still gotta go for it and just hope for the best. And StrifeCro does not have the Consecration right now, so that's a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, and I really like Hoej just going face with his minibot because of the way these decks interact with each other. He knows StrifeCro will want to clear the board. He wants to play the long game. So he just takes the extra 2 damage, almost certain that StrifeCro does have to trade in to get rid of this minibot, either with a Muster Battle of his own, or as you said, with a Consecrate. But even with Consecrate, he does have to throw another minibot into the fray, so it'll just end with a 2/2 on board.
Yeah, really heads up play from Hoej there. I think a lot of people would have first instinct would have been to take out one of those minibots, use the Divine Shield on that, but it's completely unnecessary because you know that StrifeCro is likely to do it anyway.
Yeah, it's having the sort of full understanding of who's the aggressor and the defender and when as well, because that can actually change throughout the game.
Yeah, but even though now it got Alder, that's a weak Alder, and this Consecration is going to clear most of their stuff. With the Light's Justice and one of the dudes, that would be a full clear. I would expect him to do it. Yeah. It's hard to get more Consecration value than this.
Yeah, I mean, Hoej's gonna. I imagine these guys all know the decks their opponents are playing by now because they've seen them all yesterday.
Yep.
But as you said, yes, I think there's True Heart in StrifeCro's deck, so you can start filling up the board later on. But you take the instant value here. This is too good, and you leave 2 1/1s on the board as well for yourself. So that's awesome.
That's true, and still with that Light's Justice with 2 charges on it, not meaningless either. Helps clear those potential hero powers from StrifeCro.
Yeah, and there's the double Quartermaster that haunts so many mid-range paladins when they put double Quartermaster in the deck.
Yeah, we saw the same thing happen yesterday to StrifeCro as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had on turn 5 only 2 Quartermasters.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness, that is so weak. It's really unfortunate. Happens sometimes. That for this reason, some people only play 1 Quartermaster, but it's not a mistake to put 2 in, not at all. It's just a little bit of a risk because you might draw them at the same time. But if you have 2 Quartermasters with the Justicar, with the Master of Battles, the reward for having a Quartermaster in combination with those cards is so high.
Yeah.
That it can work out well.
Yeah, and with the Avenge draw, this is one of the moments where drawing like a secret isn't too bad at all. He's just gonna build up the board, just keep putting the pressure on. He's not even bothered about the 2-5, and rightly so. As Hoej sort of turns up the heat, and he knows StrifeCro will want to trade, which means Avenge is going to proc and make the trade even harder.
Yeah, but there's concentration for StrifeCro. Definitely still a good card, but like you mentioned that Avenge is going to cause some issues. How did he sequence? He played the Avenge first, so if StrifeCro was to go for the consecration first, the Avenge would not trigger at all, I believe. So the Spectral Spiders would not get the Avenge.
Ah, okay. He does go for the attack though. Let's see where. I mean, it doesn't really matter where it goes because they're all going to be 1-1s anyway. 4-3. I mean, leaving the 4-1 on board isn't terrible. It sort of deals with the bit of a beast of a board that Hoej's built up this turn, and he still has the 2-4, so you know that can trade anyway.
Yeah, Hoej with a little bit of a lead right now, but StrifeCro does have that Doctor 7, as some people call it, coming up on the following turn, and Hoej's plays this turn are quite limited, I have to say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, really tough because no matter what he does, his 4-1's dying next turn. As he can True Silver into the 2-4, but that leaves the 1-1 alive, or he can, you know, whichever way he does this, that 4-1's dying, and he can't actually put any sort of minion presence on the board other than Hero Power at the moment anyway, as the Owl would definitely be a waste just to get a 2-1 on the board. The only positive is he can coin into Tyrion next turn.
Yeah, but oh my god, I can't believe how bad the turn is no matter what he does. He would really love to swing with both the Light Justice and the True Silver, but that is not possible, unfortunately.
And because of that, he's just going to take the 1-1 out, rack up the True Silver anyway, drop another Hero Power and go face. But StrifeCro is on low health. He is on 16 versus Hoej's 27. So, and the Zombie Chow, although will help with board control, doesn't really help him end the game. I think he just has to drop Boom now, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't really see any options to that. It's so much more powerful than any of the other cards, and he knows that Hoej doesn't play a big game hunter, so the 7/7 is going to be very effective. There it is, and now Hoej needs to.
Now he draws Mysterious
One turn late. That would have been absolutely amazing last turn, but right now it's a little bit like feels bad.
Feels bad, man.
It really does. Well, it's still a great card, but it's just a little bit late for the party. He might have to go on to Tyrion anyway, but even the Tyrion has some issues because of the True Silver champion that he already has, so the second True Silver charge might get wasted if he chooses to go with Tyrion right now.
Yeah, he can either go with Tyrion or he can play his Mysterious Challenger and the Competitive Spirit, but definitely a bit tough either way. I don't know if I kind of like clearing the bombs out with the weapon and the 1-1 and then drop Tyrion to make it as awkward as possible, but either way, it's a little bit rough.
I think that's good, because then the Dr. Boom is going to have to attack into the Noble Sacrifice, which is kind of a big deal. Oh, he's going for the Tyrion here, putting his faith in the light.
Yeah, I kind of like Tyrion, because so you presume or hope that the way that he can proc this, obviously we can see, but that he has to put a weapon into it and then Dr. Boom.
Yeah,
so if he puts a weapon into it, then he takes 6 as well, so that's pretty. And then you have the Ashbringer to push for the rest of the damage.
Yeah, I mean that feels really bad, but he has to do it. There's no options. That True Silver charge is going to go to waste, so to say, but 5-3 Ashbringer, that's huge. But StrifeCro did pick up a Lion Hand, so that might make him help him make the game go a little bit longer.
Yeah, and the good thing is for StrifeCro, he does have multiple minions on the board, which, when dealing with the Mysterious Challenger, with the secrets active, is key. If you have just one minion, you're definitely in trouble, but he does have the weapon as well, so he has multiple ways to proc these secrets and work out how he wants to proc the actual interactions and how he wants to work around that. But he does, as you said, have the lay on hands to actually sort of just prolong the game a little bit here.
Yeah, without the Lay on Hands, potentially just the Ashbringer would be enough damage to kill him, but as it is, it won't be. Now Hoej needs to make a decision here, whether he wants to smork it up with the Ashbringer or clear the Dr. Boom. He might be forced to clear the Dr. Boom, because otherwise it trades so efficiently for the Mysterious Challenger.
Yeah. Would you? So come on, Space. Would you clear the Dr. Boom here with the 5 damage weapon on a 1 health minion? It feels
I think
bad,
he has to,
I think you have to.
He has to do it, because otherwise it trades for the Mysterious Challenger, and the 5 damage that you miss on the face might happen anyway from the True Silver.
Yeah.
Because now it has to be used on the Mysterious Challenger in order to clear that, so yeah. Feels bad, but has to be done.
Yep. Heads up play from Hoej there, and we'll see how StrifeCro can respond. He does draw Muster of Battle, which would be nice if he almost certainly didn't have to lay on hands this turn.
Yep. Oh no, this is... Oh, another tough spot. This is a really interesting game. Depending on the secret, does Hoej have another Noble Sack? He probably does.
This is interesting, like whether attacking first was important to see what happens with the Avenge. Because he's lay on hands, which means there's nothing in his deck, as far as I'm aware, that he can draw for 1 mana to change the game.
Right.
So maybe the Avenge actually changes things and change the order of play here. Probably not, but...
Yeah, I was thinking it would be better if he just didn't attack at all. There to like not trigger the Avenge, since he does not have a way to deal with that. But if it lands on the 1/1, then he can take the 1/1 out with the weapon. Oh! It goes on the Mysterious Challenger. Now Strife can't remove it. That's gonna be 9 damage coming in from the Challenger.
Okay, so there's the 9 damage. He's gonna clear the 1/1, I guess?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my, that Challenger. It's going to be quite challenging to deal with it.
Nice. It's almost like I'm casting with Nimsh.
Almost
You
like,
gotta get those puns out.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
Hoej can follow up here really nice, because like he just cast the 2 secrets and Shredder, and I kind of even like not hero power in, because you either end up with a 6/1, sorry, or another Shredder again, depending on what's killed first.
Yeah, it's definitely an option not to hero power here at all. But he does go for it. Does have the competitive spirit, so if there is no board clear, it's kind of gonna work out. Goes to base for 14 damage, and StrifeCro, even though he just threw 3 cards, only like Consecration seems to be relevant here. If he well, hello. Does that help?
So we know it doesn't help at all, but from StrifeCro's side, from StrifeCro's side, do you almost have to play Tyrion at this point? Because you don't really have an answer, even with Consecrate.
It's either that or go for the Shredder. Like, there's no other play, otherwise it's just dead on board. But yeah, we know that the Tyrion Forging does nothing because of that owl in Hoej's hand, so the only way for StrifeCro to potentially win the game would be to kill the Shredder for like a Doomsayer. What secrets for this? Competitive Spirit and Redemption. So he has to like consecrate first and then trade the Zombie Tower or something ridiculous.
Yeah, because the Shredder would the 1/1 would come back as Redemption. Right?
Okay, all this works as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So with this line of play, StrifeCro knows that he has to go for the Shredder. I don't think any other minion is going to do it except for Doomsayer.
Nope. Here we go. All on a Shredder. We've seen Doomsayers change games. It is a ship's cannon, so there we go. Just watch the secrets proc. I imagine Concede's going to happen really quickly. There we go. So Hoej evens it up 1/1 with his secret paladin doing some work against StrifeCro's mid-range.
Yeah, StrifeCro getting punished for playing a slow decks here. Didn't work out so well, but it was also an unfortunate draw from him. Only having those Quartermasters on turn 5, having to play one of the Quartermasters without a single Silverhand Recruit on the board, just a measly 2/5 for 5.
Yeah,
that really
5 mana 2/5 is what everyone dreams of. So we are going to see Hoej with his Druid and his Warlock versus StrifeCro. Please, if you can hear me, which you definitely can't, lock in the Mage, please. I want to see the Mage game.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing more of that Paladin either. It's pretty cool. Just maybe I want to see it work. Like I want to see it go late game where it just gets those double dudes from the Justicar and the Quartermasters to good use, and he's going to play his Paladin again.
Does Hoej's Warlock play the is it the Seeker deck with the Sea Giants, or is it more standard zoo?
I think it was more standard too. He was playing double Doom cards, Doctor Boom, Power Overwhelmings. It was a kind of like old school zoo list, I believe.
Okay.
Might have had a Dark Peddler in it, maybe. But other than that, it looked like something that you already seen 6 months ago.
Yeah. And there's the dreaded Quartermaster in StrifeCro's opening hand. Let's see if he can actually make it useful for turn 5 or not.
Yeah.
Pretty reasonable open for Hoej, though. He can drop the Flame Imp. He has Voidwalker to guard it.
Yep, and the chair can here either like going out the Shielded Minibot or the Knife Juggler. Probably going for the Shielded Minibot. Ghost of StrifeCro.
Yeah, so when StrifeCro returns to his desk, he can take his turn. He's just stepped away for a second. But yeah, I like the Minibot. The Minibot challenges the 3-2. The Juggler won't actually do anything worthwhile. Like, the Juggle next turn at this moment makes no difference to the game. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, Shielded Minibot is the play here for sure. There's no reason to going out the Juggler over the Minibot.
Yeah, and we may get to see some Murloc shenanigans with the Murloc Knight in StrifeCro's hand. That would have been a nice card to have on the board for turn 5, maybe.
Yeah. The Hoej is smoking it up, turn 2, 3 minions on the board, goes to base for 5 already. Oh, this is actually a situation where the Juggler would have been better, because now Hoej would have had to trade, and the Shielded Minibot is kind of a weird card against the Void Caller.
Yeah. You almost don't want to attack with it, because it procs the shield and you still don't kill the minion. It's one of the few low-drop minions that Minibot doesn't really deal with that well.
Wow, this is a perfect draw for Hoej right now. Turn 3, getting that Imp Gang boss. He actually didn't have anything that he wanted to play before that draw.
Yeah, an Imp Gang boss with the follow-up of Argus almost guarantees on its own that you can Argus up 2 minions next turn, as you can probably trade and then just Argus the 1-1 and what's left of the Imp Gang boss. So really strong follow-up turns from Hoej. And we can see StrifeCro doesn't really have a good way to answer, to be honest.
No, and Hoej finding a very good trade with the Abusive Surgeon, but StrifeCro still had to play it in order not to fall too far behind.
Yep.
Oh, that's nothing to play here for StrifeCro. Has 3 4-drops in his hand. I don't see him finding the time to play all of them.
Oh, and another Argus as well. This is pretty... So I would imagine, because it's nice, is that like the Imp Gang boss could go into the Abusive. The 3-2 into the 1-1 if Hoej's been super defensive, and then just drop the Argus on the Gang boss and the 1-1.
Well, definitely the Argus, but you could also just go face.
Yeah, just Argus them both and smoke. Why not?
Yeah, I don't see any problems with that. Like, how could he possibly get punished? He could, I guess the Shielded Minibot and the 1-1 would trade for the Flame Imp together.
Yeah.
But is that
the Gang boss would be on 5 though, wouldn't it? So that's out of range of pretty much everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wouldn't hate that play, but I can understand if he wants to clear off maybe the 1-1 so that Flame Imp doesn't die to just those. Let's see.
So he clears the 1-1.
Yep, but there will be Imp.
And then, of course, whack him in the face for 4. So this is still awkward to deal with. Even, like, Consecrate does almost nothing to this board. Not in an efficient way, anyway.
Yeah, they will still leave up the Imp Gang boss, a 1-1, and, well, also the Defender of Argus. The Flame Imp he could kill, since he has the Shielded Minibot on the board already, but right now it's looking pretty bleak. What do you even do? I mean, do you play the Shredder or the other Shredder?
Yeah, the problem is, like, Owl kind of looks okay for the Gang boss, but then you just Hero Power to follow up with, so that's definitely not enough on board. And StrifeCro really needs to bring this board back under control, because it's getting a bit silly now, and I just imagine we just see a second Argus and keep going face. What's the Paladin going to do, right?
Yeah, I really like that, and he could also trade the 1-1 for the Shielded Minibot.
Yeah,
just
he
play
could
a little bit around AoE.
Yeah. Like, for 1 damage, taking away the like 2 attack is definitely worth it.
Yeah, because the thing is that StrifeCro has to AoE in order to come back into this game. So, like, why would you not trade? Because you know that you're winning anyway, unless there's an AoE, so you make the play that's the best against AoE.
And I'm pretty confident, Savitz, that you've cursed StrifeCro's Paladin by saying, I want to see it work, and then we see a pretty, or what looks to be a pretty swift game.
I feel so bad, like, what? No, like, no, come on, Paladin work.
Please don't say that about any games you may or may not cast of mine.
Okay, I won't.
Okay, so is there any actual out? No. We see Hoej take another swift game with his Warlock.
Yeah, really solid draws. I think that Hoej, to begin with, he had a really nice like turn 1 and 2, and that Impken boss from the top for turn 3 just kind of like sealed the deal. There was almost no way for StrifeCro to turn it around since he didn't pick up a Master for Battle for turn 3 himself.
Yeah. And the Voidwalker as well, making the trade so awkward. Like, the Voidwalker accounted for a shield and was still alive, and then it still had to be dealt with. So I think the Voidwalker dealt with, like, the shield and 1 health off, and 2 attacks in total from the Minibot, which is pretty good, because Minibot's normally the bane of any low drop.
Yeah, but here we go, and this should be a better matchup for StrifeCro. Even if his starting hand is not as good, I think that the Paladin can handle the Druid quite often. With those other Peacekeepers and just in general having more time than against those aggressive decks that Hoej played earlier, the chances are better.
Yeah, and even the mid-range Paladin has early drops, you know, to put some pressure on themselves, actually. So maybe StrifeCro's going to play as more of the aggressor in this game, depending on how the initial draws go. We can see Minibot's almost certainly going to get kept. It's whether he decides to... Oh, okay, so he does keep the Shredder, and he probably just throws the Quartermaster away because, in disgust more than anything, as he's not actually had the chance to drop the Quartermaster well enough. And then double Shredder again from StrifeCro on the coin, and he draws a turn 1. Okay.
That's really good.
Yeah, this is pretty big.
Good for StrifeCro. But Hoej also with a reasonable hand with all those mana cards. So if he picks up some card draw is the most important thing for Hoej right now, because there's 3 cards in his hand that kind of provide mana, but not much else. And the Roar is a little bit late, so he needs to increase the amount of cards in his hand. So something like Azure Drake, Ancient of Lore, those are the cards that he needs as the game progresses. I wanted to say about that Pilot the Shredder keep, that I think that having the coin was essential, and without the coin he would not have kept it.
Yeah.
Because Paladin tends to have a lot of 4 mana plays. There's a lot of 4 mana plays, like Jerusalem Champion, for example. So with the coin, you can play one of the 4 mana things on turn 3, maybe whether it be a Jerusalem or a Pilot the Shredder, and the other one on 4, so pretty cool.
Yeah, and on the flip side, Hoej choosing to play the Wild Growth instead of the Aspirant, purely because he knows StrifeCro has the coin, he has 2 damage down already, so Coin Muster would have just dealt with the Aspirant, and there goes the Crystal. Whereas because he has 2 Wild Growths, he wants to ramp as much as possible, because StrifeCro's presented a board that can pretty much deal with those Aspirants.
Look at Hoej being able to take an Aspirant. So he had 2 Wild Growths and 2 Darnassus Aspirants. That's a little bit excessive on the mana, I would say.
Yeah, I know early on when the Aspirant first came out, there was long discussions across a lot of people as to whether you go 2 Aspirants, 1 Wild Growth, 2 Wild Growths, 1 Aspirant, and it ended up that everyone just decided, yeah, we'll just put all the ramp in the deck, which is pretty reasonable in itself. But this it's kind of hurting Hoej now, because even the Savage Roar isn't going to do too much to clear off anything early.
Oh, this is so bad. But if he gets those card draws, maybe he still has a chance.
Yeah, I mean, this still requires a bit of an answer from StrifeCro. He does draw straight into Muster. Oh, wow. So, oh my god. Do you Muster and hope to God you can coin into Quartermaster next turn and hope he doesn't have swipe? He can kill off one of the Aspirants with like say the Zombie Chow and poke from the Light's Justice.
It's a difficult decision. I could see him go either way. Just go into Shredder, take out one of the Aspirants with what he has on the board, or go for the Master of Battle. The Master of Battle is kind of high risk, high reward, I think, because if there is no swipe, then you are doing better than you would with the Shredder. But to play against the swipe, the Battle Shredder would be better. So he just kind of has to like place his bets here. Yeah. And he's going to go for the Master. Knows that Hoej only has 3 cards. Yeah, knows that Hoej only has 3 cards in his hand. So it's quite likely that the swipe is not there.
Okay, so excuse me. Leaving one of the Aspirants on 1 health. Keep at the Grove isn't going to be enough, and now we're going to see. I mean, this is a really difficult choice for Hoej. It looks like slamming Sylvanas just to get her on the board might be the play. Keeper of the Grove can help clear the board, but then it's whether he hero powers down at 2-1. Basically, it's how many 1-1s he can kill this turn, and whether he's enough like heads up that Quartermaster could come. And with knowing StrifeCro has the coin, it's a serious risk.
Yep. This is so difficult for Hoej. If he goes for the Sylvanas, he obviously has to first play the minion. Hoej is an experienced player, so he won't do anything in wrong order, but he has to first make his plays up, then trade the Aspirant. The Aspirant is going to die to the weapon, so you probably want to trade it for the shielded mini, but sequencing is important, because losing the mana crystal before playing the cards would be bad.
Yeah, we've all done it. We've all done it at least once. Maybe not you, Savitz. Maybe not you, but I know I have.
I never done that. Oh, he actually doesn't trade. Okay.
Okay, so let's see. So, again, this is probably the idea of Hoej knowing that his opponent should want to trade with him, and the Sylvanas cards is enough of an issue here. Because even with all the 3/3s, Sylvanas could steal a 3/3 in return, so... He's going to be really far behind, though. I mean, StrifeCro can just go face.
Yeah, he's going to raise at this point. Not worried about anything. Gets to swing at his opponent's face for 13 points of damage with all those minions.
And suddenly, even swipe doesn't help.
Nope, now it's going to be too late. So that Master of Battle in the Coin Quartermaster, what a play. So Hoej is in trouble.
Does Hoej have to kill a 3/3? Keep hero power down the zombie chow, and then keep of the grove his own Sylvanas.
That's a little bit too much. I think you just keep maybe the shielded mini, or keep her to silence one of the 3/3s.
Okay.
Because the Sylvanas is still going to steal something on the next turn, so it's probably better to use the keeper on.
That's very true. And the zombie chow will heal enough to, unless there's maybe a second quartermaster. The zombie chow will heal enough to put you reasonably far out of range of any sort of paladin damage.
Yep. Looks like he wants to kill that 2/5 first. Could also kill a 3/3. It's a close call. Goes for a Fire the Shredder before the keeper. All right.
Yeah, this is pretty reasonable. So with the zombie chow, does the 2 damage really matter? Probably not at this point.
No. The keeper would have allowed him to maybe clear the shielded mini, but I can also understand wanting to hold on to the silence. The StrifeCro is likely to keep just racing here. Or does he?
He has 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, definitely gonna keep going face, because otherwise Hoej is going to steal some.
It's just true silver face. Good enough? That's 9, 10, 11. That's 15. He puts his opponent to 4 if you just true silver's face.
That's pretty good, but there's some issues with that. I think you go with the Belzers, because he doesn't have the follow-up damage exactly, because he would be like one of... Oh, he's just going to give Hoej a minion here.
This is pretty nice, actually, because the problem is if you just play Belcher, then the Sylvanas actually kills itself on the Belcher and can steal something anyway. So
it's true.
Chose to give him the 3/3, and then now the Belcher's a bit more of a awkward thing to deal with, and actually survives through both minions' attack.
Yeah, I really like that play. I wasn't really looking at that. I was just thinking, okay, you just beat that because you get so much more damage to Hoej, but it does make a lot of sense because he is pretty far ahead. So why take chances?
Yeah, and the thing is, on the side of it, Belcher deals with Shredder really well, and to make it clean, the Hoej would have to hero power the Shredder normally, unless he's got swipe, and then hero power and game 1 take 3. Is pretty good as that sort of extra damage for StrifeCro anyway.
Yeah, this is a very good setup, because normally Druid wants to play a Doctor Boom or Ancient of Lore on turn 7, but if he did that, he would die to the True Silver Champion, because there's still going to be 6 power on the board and 4 coming from the hand.
Yeah. So what's the Shredder going to drop?
Ooh.
He does have Keeper to silence, but that's still not good.
Yeah.
3 for 5. Yeah, and that's... Alright, oh no, you can take the 2-2.
Quite yet, but it's close.
1 off?
1 off, yeah.
Okay, what's he draw? Oh, Mustard doesn't really help with that 1 extra damage, not yet anyway.
Nope.
I mean, Shredder hero power seems reasonable.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate just hitting the Truciler. No, I'm thinking the Truciler phase. He might get punished for that if there's a big taunt like a Tridactic Claw.
Yeah.
So maybe it's better to Shredder.
Yeah, I think you sort of maybe have to rely on the Shredder being sticky enough to give you some damage or something to work with the following turn.
Yep.
And he just... Oh, okay, so he trades away the 2-4. That's pretty nice. Again,
just taking it a little bit slow here.
Yeah. This is reasonable because it puts him in the same position of unless he's not seen swipe. So he knows as long as Hoej doesn't draw into it, it's not there. So again, 1 health minion that if Hoej chooses to trade into, even more damage to face.
Yeah, but
he's
Hoej
just waiting with the True Silver.
Yeah, Hoej doesn't know it, but if he chooses to play the boom here, he is going to lose this game because of that True Silver champion. So StrifeCro is going to find a win with his Paladin now.
Yeah, and he managed to hide the True Silver enough, like, to be the burst to finish the game. So the Paladin won. So
yeah,
good work.
Paladin did win.
Paladin won.
Well played by StrifeCro. Yeah, it seemed like he had the control all the way. Well, a tiny bit unlucky with his starting cards. The double aspirants, double wild growths. It's too much mana cards, and the double roar also not something that you want this early on.
Yeah, and now we're seeing this mage at last.
Finally.
And because I don't know enough about this deck, how do you think this will face up versus Hoej Druid?
I think the early turns are really key for this. Like, what happens in the first 3 or 4 turns? How well do these players curve out? Whoever hero powers probably loses. So I'm gonna say that the player who hero powers on the first 3 turns is going to lose.
Fantastic. Already not looking great for Hoej.
No, those are not the cards he wanted. He knows that StrifeCro is playing a slow deck, so Emperor is kind of good, but probably still don't keep it, and it just try to like increase your chance of finding wild growth and cards like that.
But let's be honest, we're all more interested in Savits's estimate of whoever hero powers first. So let's see. I wish we could tell the players this bet and they just all mulligan for just whatever's the lowest drops and hope for the best. They need to win. But the Jeweled Scarab is a super interesting card. I've been using this in more and more decks as time goes on because it works out that a lot of classes have really good 3-drops, and because, again, I don't know if this has been confirmed by Blizzard, but some crazy people have done maths on this card, and that it says that Discovery in general favors class cards. So it does lean a bit more towards your class by the sounds of it. Which can only make it slightly more reliable, which then makes it more powerful.
Yeah, and wow, Hoej keeping the Emperor, he still finds a lot of good cards. That's an amazing hand from Hoej, and StrifeCro's hand also not looking too bad. He does have that zombie chow.
Yep, it looks like StrifeCro is losing the whoever hero powers first effort, but he still, he could just Scarab into into another 3-drop to play on turn 4, so it could be okay.
Mm-hmm. See what it gets.
Well, double mirror entity versus Druid. That could be nice.
Could be, but the Spell Slinger also looks pretty tempting because he already has the mirror entity. It might be tough to use too. I would probably lean towards the Spell Slinger, but I wouldn't blame him for picking the mirror entity. The Dragonhawk Rider seems like a really weird pick.
Yeah.
Would seem a really weird pick.
I think because Wrath is a card, Dragonhawk Rider is not going to be picked up in this game.
Yep, and he does pick the Spell Slinger. The 3/4 is quite alright.
Yeah, even as a body in itself, it's nice, and the extra spells can definitely make the game more interesting. Oh, he plays Explosive Sheep.
Yep, and
okay.
Wow, if he goes to mirror entity, Hoej can counter it with the Darnassus Aspirant, so the Spell Slinger would work out way better, and StrifeCro does play it.
Ooh,
Eviscerate.
Abyss versus Cone of Cold. Interesting.
That's an amazing card. But the Cone of Cold is not bad either. So both of the players picking up fairly good cards. Sometimes you get Totemic Mites, and that's not a great feeling.
Okay, I mean, is Aspirant Abyss on the 3/4 nice enough?
Well,
He would have to, like, trade to make the Aspirant not instantly die, but maybe the Aspirant, maybe the Zombie Chan, the 1/1 going into the Aspirant is reasonable enough.
I would probably wild throw the Eviscerate every time, because that Emperor for next turn and the Ancient of Lore for the turn after that seems so good. So
yeah, I actually forgot it ramped enough to play Emperor. I take it all back. Savits is correct.
So yeah, Wild Growth. And here's the decision though, does he want to unstill the Shade? But I would expect him to keep it installed for now. That Zombie Chow is not too threatening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know you're going to get the 5 health back from the zombie child. The 1-1 poking away, a little bit annoying, but isn't the end of the world. And you know he's a lot of turns away from Flame Strike, so buffing the shade past Flame Strike range is always nice.
This right here, this is a big moment. Does Hoej... Oh, the dinner
Oh,
helps.
he can... Oh my god, so now
we
he
can ask-
100% plays Aspirin.
Yeah. Oh man, I was kind of hoping he wouldn't pick up the dinner because then it would have been a really interesting decision because playing the Emperor would have been the better play if the secret was anything else but a mirror entity.
Yeah.
But that aspirant, that's exactly what you want to give your opponent. Giving them a mana crystal, well actually not giving them a mana crystal, but taking the mana crystal away, that's so powerful, especially on these early turns.
Yeah, and what's really good now for Hoej is that, yes, the Shade's unveiled and can be traded into easily, but the more you trade into the Shade, the more likely it is that you're going to have to leave the Emperor up, which is how you lose games. So
Sure.
this is going to be I mean, these games have been so good in terms of actual like intricate and actual hard decisions.
And this is still not even close to over. The explosive ship ping after trading both of the minions into the Emperor Horizon would clear both the Shade and the Emperor. And Hoej only with 2 cards, so that lore is going to play a big role. What is he going to get from it?
I think leaving the 2-1 Dynasties Aspirant up is definitely not the worst case scenario that could happen here. I really like the sheep play because he's got follow-ups. He has Belcher next turn as well.
Yep, that's right, and it's the only way to clear off that Emperor, and it's so dangerous to leave Emperor up against Druid.
I think it's so dangerous leaving Emperor up. Any time when I've tried just ignoring it, I lose. Something I definitely don't do anymore. And we do see the sheep go down. Please tell me he's going to trade first. StrifeCro's a good player, so of course he is.
Yeah, and there we go. So clearing most of the stuff. And Hoej only with 2 cards, but one of them is the Ancient of Lore.
Yeah, that is probably the best answer that he could have got. And he does get a Wrath, which is going to be nice later on, just to clear some minions up. Or even use for card draw, but Hoej's refilled his hand with actually pretty good cards. Pretty good refill there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Force of Nature is really good, and StrifeCro is still at 26, so the combo, even if he had the second piece, would not provide him with lethal just yet. Oh no! I'm like, no! Oh. Mind Control Tech could have been really good if there was 4 minions on the board at some point. But I can understand that he wants to take out the
Oh wow. This is looking good for Hoej. Sylvanas, Wrath, Carrot, Smoke.
It's alright, but the StrifeCro does have the Cone of Cold, which he can play first and then continue with the Flame Strike afterwards to get the full clear.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is an exciting game.
Yeah, I think on paper the Sylvanas is definitely the strongest play though. He has it's 10 damage, and he knows this is a sort of late game mage. Oh, that plays Polymorph. Okay. I mean, I think Cone of Cold's still the play, right? It sets up so well for Flame Strike next
time. It does. And Hoej almost certainly has to play more minions. Well, maybe not. He might hold on to what he has. But as long as there's no low tap, the Cone of Cold Flame Strike is like a kind of a nice 2-turn combination.
Yeah. And the Cone of Cold coming from Spellslinger, which he got from Discovery. So that's a card that definitely took a long route into his deck, but did get there. Druid of the Claw, pretty nice follow-up if he wants to use that to get around Flame Strike by putting in Taunt mode. Or he can play Shredder. I doubt we're going to see a Silence onto one of the minions to then put an extra 5 damage. Maybe if he was versus Freeze Mage, that is worth something. But it looks like he might just go for Hero Power Path.
Yeah, Hoej saw it yesterday that StrifeCro was running double Flame Strike, so really smart heads-up play from Hoej there, choosing to not play more minions into it. And here, another Shade. So Hoej's entire board got wiped, but he does have some more to play, so let's see what he chooses to play here. Is it going to be the Shade, or...?
I kind of like Shade Shredder. The reason for that is that the Druid of the Claw in charge you can do later, and the Druid of the Claw in taunt, you're not really guarding against anything, so it doesn't do anything immediately. Whereas these two guys, getting them on the board, you've just seen Flame Strike, so they're fair or as safe as they're gonna get, I suppose.
Fair enough, but on the other hand, it is like kind of more mana efficient to play it here since it's more expensive card.
Yeah, but he does go for charge, which I like.
Yep. And StrifeCro 8 mana. Senjin Polymorph. Quite alright. So if Hoej was to pick up the roar here, would that be lethal? I believe it would be exactly lethal.
Yeah.
Not finding it just yet.
I mean, he could silence and play a Force of Nature anyway to just push for even more damage. I suppose that the only thing there is it opens up the sort of, maybe it'll be mind games as well to force out some sort of defensive play. Because if he did that, it looks like he has the second combo in hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he just silenced the 3/5 and went face with for 11 to put his opponent to 6, which would be lethal range next turn.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't like the silence so much, but the one Force of Nature just to maybe clear that.
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I mean, I just want to see him go a full smoke.
Oh, that's.
Still representing a lot of damage, and the silence guarantees getting through a taunt next turn.
Oh, that's really interesting that he chose to use the sheep on the Senjin instead of the third tree, and he didn't get one more damage to face this way, but he also sacrificed the sheep. So no respect for the sheep. Feels bad.
No respect for the sheep.
Yeah.
We do see one of the new cards in hand, but unfortunately, I'd be surprised if it gets played this game. This is a tough choice now. Unfortunately, StrifeCro doesn't have 10 mana for a Healbot Belcher, which would feel really good right about now.
Yeah,
So-
that'd be amazing, but nope, not available.
Yeah. And I don't actually think there's a way for StrifeCro to play around combo from hand. Actually.
No, even if he has to like play the Etrel Conjurer and get an ice block, I believe.
Yeah. Because the Belcher gets destroyed because there's the minions on the board anyway, and plus combo for 14. And the Healbot only heals for 8, which you would overkill with anyway with Savage Roar combo.
Right. So Hoej with 8 from the hand, 7 on the board. Well, it's not quite lethal just yet. Only the roar would do it.
Yeah, what's he gonna get? Wrath. Okay. Yeah, this is still nice. He can just Wrath down. Does he Wrath for 1 to draw? Just because he has
Probably.
the mana? He has the mana and the health, right?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Trying to find the drawer.
Ooh.
Gets a swipe instead.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
Oh, does he save swipe to just swipe face? No,
Nah.
okay, he's gonna clear. I mean, this is nice. He's just negated that turn, and StrifeCro still has the problem now of Belcher just still won't be enough, and even it won't be enough now because of silence.
It's true. Brand Bronzebeard. That might have been nice a little bit earlier
Yeah,
with the Healbot, for example, but
the casual heal for 16 is always
yeah, it's quite powerful.
okay. Oh my god! So Cone of Cold. Oh, he can't. Oh, he can play. He has 5 mana. What can he portal into?
Healbot.
Yeah, portal Healbot. That's definitely the play.
I think all the other plays leave him dead to what Hoej has in his hand. But StrifeCro obviously doesn't know the exact cards.
Yeah.
He might be expecting it as one combo piece because there's so many turns have been played, and it's very likely that Hoej would hold on to one. But it's a tough call here. I mean, I wouldn't pick down Stable Portal even though yeah, that's what he needs to do in order to win.
Fireball to face. That's what we want to see. I mean, he does pick the Cone of Cold and goes with Belcher instead. So we can see that Hoej has held on to this. Oh, and there's the Savage Roar. So it would have gone through either way without the silence, but Hoy's held on to the Keep of the Grove just for this kind of moment, and has managed to push through enough damage to take the win. And Hoej will take this 3-2 over StrifeCro. Really close games, actually. Even with StrifeCro getting some sort of bad luck with his a lot of his Paladin draws in the first couple of games he played it.
Yep.
Still managed to go 3-2 in that set, so that was a really close game.
Yeah, it sure was.
But Hoej takes it with a lot of really heads-up plays, actually. Like, really heads up. It's clear that he knows these deck lists, he's done his research, and he's playing around a lot of the combos that he knows his opponents have.
Yeah, for example, they're having the Sylvanas and the Ancient of Lord. They're choosing not to play anything more, knows that there might be a Flame Strike coming. Well, there was a Flame Strike, and it came, but he had more minions to play because of holding on to those. So really well played by Hoej, and it was a close series. Really, really good one, and
Yeah, it's a
And
shame we didn't get to see more of StrifeCro's mage, but maybe we'll see that in his. We do have another series coming up with StrifeCro in it, definitely. So the next series we've got coming up is Standashi versus Amaz. So Amaz currently unbeaten so far in this group, but Standashi sort of half played a set so far. He's got that to finish off later, and we'll see what goes on with that. But Standashi's, let's see if his rogue can do well. But for now, we're just going to go to a break while we get the next players ready. Stick around, guys. We'll be back soon.